We are honored to be joined by someone who has built a remarkable career in understanding business processes, IT, and program management.
Mr. Rayasam Venkata Lakshmi Manohar.
But what actually fascinated me wasn't just the engineering and sales. It was watching how information was flowing through sales, shop floor, procurement, and finance departments.
I mean, that's lovely to hear. Like you said, it's about knowing people and where they want to go and understanding from them their journey. And that's the best way to go ahead and learn more, right? What people want from a particular business.
Technology success isn't just about technical or functional excellence. It's about understanding people, culture, and their business context.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. In this series, we sit down with extraordinary leaders who have shaped their industries with vision, expertise, and unyielding resilience. Today, we are honored to be joined by someone who has built a remarkable career in understanding business processes, IT, and program management.
Mr. Rayasam Venkata Lakshmi Manohar, Director Birlasoft Ltd, India, brings over 24 years of experience to the table.
With a career spanning over 2 decades. Mr. Manohar has been at the forefront of driving technology and technological innovations, transforming business processes, and leading sustainably large scale IT projects across diverse sectors. He's been instrumental in managing complex program deliverables and optimizing operational efficiencies, all while ensuring that his teams remain motivated and focused on growth. An accomplished strategist, mentor, and member of advisory committee in a couple of startups, he submitted multiple articles on LinkedIn on AI-driven leadership, cyber risk management on boards, and also in International Journal of Science and Research on digital modernization. He also holds certifications in Agile methodologies, ITIL V3, SAFe Certified Lean Portfolio Management, ESG, and Digital Director certifications. He's also pursuing final year in doctorate in business administration from Rushford Business School, Switzerland, continuously sharpening his expertise to stay ahead in the fast evolving tech landscape. We're thrilled to welcome you on the show, sir.
Thanks, Tanay. Thanks. That was a wonderful introduction. Thank you.
Sir, we would love to rewind the clock a little bit and take it back to where it all started. Like, you've had an incredible career, but we're curious, where did it all begin? Like, was there a moment or a spark that made you say, this is a path for me? Or was it more of a gradual journey filled with unexpected twists? Could you please tell us the story?
Sure. Thanks, Tanay. Let me take you back to my olden days of somewhere in 2001. So I still remember walking into the transformers manufacturing facility at PET Transformers. That's way back in 2001. So fresh, passed out of the engineering college, surrounded by humming sounds of the electrical machinery and the precision of manufacturing process. So it was very good experience since it was a small unit. I got exposure to the shop floor operations, including inventory, procurement, and prepared quotations and submitted tenders for private customers and couple of governments as well. So later I worked as a sales representative for electrical industrial products. During this period, I got opportunity to interact with OEMs, architects, builders, electrical contractors, understand their requirements and suggest the entire product for their needs. So during this time, along with my job, I pursued my post-graduation in business administration from Symbiosis Center for Distance Learning. That was from 2003 to 2005. But what actually fascinated me wasn't just the engineering and sales. It was watching how information was flowing through sales, shop floor, procurement, and finance departments, and how decisions made in one corner rippled across the entire operation. So, this experience, which I have gained over the years in understanding the supply chain business process, was phenomenal. This has played me path in understanding business requirements, helping other clients in providing solutions for their business process and implementing sustainable ERP solutions. So, but the actual breakthrough was when I was hired by Wipro Technologies in 2006 and eventually got trained on the ERP, which was JD Edwards. So during my career, I got opportunity to work with clients from various industries like oil and gas, healthcare, then retail sector, medical equipment manufacturing, elevator industry, and in real estate as well. So see, overall, it was a very great experience in traveling to their sites, discussing with the end users, understanding their requirements, and helping them in business process consulting and implementing the sustainable solutions which best fits their day-to-day operations and governance. But during this period, I traveled extensively to multiple locations, not only just in India, but also countries like US, South Africa, Europe, Middle East, etc. So it was overall indeed a great experience talking to the people, understanding their culture, helping them during their digital transformation journey. Yeah, yeah, Tanay.
Yeah, I mean, that's lovely to hear. Like you said, it's about knowing people and where they want to go and understanding from them their journey. And that's the best way to go ahead and learn more, right? What people want from a particular business.
Yeah.
So, in your career, you worked with a wide array of teams and vendors across multiple complex IT projects. I'm curious that could you take us inside a moment where the pressure, the timeline, or the obstacles just seemed insurmountable? Like, what was the turning point that then allowed you to navigate those challenges and keep the project moving forward?
Yeah. That was a great question, Tanay. Yeah. So this remembers me during my it's in 2010. So where I was working for a healthcare industry, helping users in supporting their ERP system. And it was my even then I had multiple international projects, but it was my first major international project, and that it was in European region. So even though I was having sound functional knowledge, but then what happened? I failed to meet the expectations of the project due to various reasons, like cultural difference, communication gaps, and of course some internal issues. So at that time, even my wife had taken a break in her career, and my family joined me at on-site. During this juncture, in order to keep the project moving, my company has suggested a replacement for me and asked me to take a break and report back to India in couple of months. Till I mean my replacement was identified and then onboarded. So since it's a European region, normally the onboarding process takes somewhere around three to 4 months normally. So it was a rough phase, not only in my professional life and also personal life. And I remember having a lot of stress and sleepless nights. But I can say one thing: with I did not give up, and with my family support, I started working on my areas of improvement. The real turning point came after 3 months when one of my client manager had an immediate requirement, and I was asked to attend it for a couple of weeks before I leave to or report back to India. Right. So I continued to give my best, and just one day, uh, my client manager just called me, and then that was just one day before travel to my India, right? So called me and said that Manohar, I wanted to give you an opportunity to be part of my team. I've seen your work and it's really good. And that was the moment. That was the moment I still cherish. That couple of weeks assignment turned to become a couple of years. See, Tana, you remember the movie In Pursuit of Happiness, right? The Will Smith, right? That moment, right? That's the moment. I mean, I was the total turnaround on the perception I had till then. And I have also received, now it got totally changed. I have also received several client appreciations and awards during that particular period. But one thing, during these 2 years of digital transformation journey, implementing the ERP solutions for that healthcare process, I realized something profound. Every line of code, every process design, every stakeholder conversation was actually about people, helping them work better, serve customers better, make decisions faster. See, but the failure, I still look at it as an area of improvement itself, and it's a success rather than a failure. Because but that taught me something invaluable. Technology success isn't just about technical or functional excellence. It's about understanding people, culture, and their business context. That lesson shaped everything that followed: my move into program management, my passion for stakeholder engagement, eventually my journey in becoming a certified independent director, and pursuing currently my final year in doctorate in business administration. So today, whether I manage a multi-million portfolio or sitting in an advisory committee, that same principle guides me, that behind every successful transformation in a human story, there is there is a waiting to be understood and enabled. So never regret, and look forward for the exciting opportunities ahead. I'm sure life is never a red carpet, and everyone will have their own stories in their success journey. There will be instances whether one might be facing several challenges on a day-to-day basis, be your personal life, from knowns and unknowns, or it being in the professional life from your directs or peers or even the senior leadership, right? But that doesn't mean that it is end of life or the end of the world. See, but one thing I strongly believe: life is all about opportunities and learnings based on the choices which we make, right, Tanay?
No,
Yeah.
very well said, sir. And especially like you said that when it gets tough, it won't change overnight, next day, 2 days. Like you said, it took you 3 months with that stress, with that everything, just keeping at it. And I think that's what life is also about, right? In the long journey, to keep at it, because things turn around if you have close one support and you continue to do your work honestly. I think this is another very big example of that.
Right, of course, right. I mean, see, if you look at it, the perseverance and the consistency are the fundamental keys to success. So one should
100%.
pursue such challenges as an opportunities
Yeah.
to learn and then thrive. See, sometimes what happens, these might take not just not just a day or a
Yeah.
week, or it might even take some months or even more. But still, as we were discussing, right, it's a perseverance and
Yeah.
consistency,
Yeah.
which one should be
Yeah.
holding. Yeah, yeah.
100%. So you've handled budgets for multi-million dollar projects, and in the IT world, one wrong decision can result in both financial and operational setbacks. When you're managing such high-stake projects, what strategies do you employ to ensure costs stay in check without compromising on quality? Like, could you share a story where an early decision saved both money and quality in the long run?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that was there were a couple of instances, right? But still, I would say managing a multi-million portfolio definitely teaches you that every early decisions, as you rightly mentioned, right? Every early decision creates a butterfly effect across the entire program cycle, right? So let me try to share one story from my previous programs, one of my previous programs. So we had one major digital transformation project, so involving multi-vendor partners and stakeholders. So it was intended to help users from various geographies, in expediting their total sales process, overall sales process. So it was a complex program integrating multiple ERPs and latest, global technologies, and span to get deployed in multiple countries, phase-wise, in probably next 2 to 3 years. So I happened to get involved in that particular program after 6 months of that program inception. So by then, the overall design of the program was approved, and initial development was almost completed and getting ready for deployment for a couple of countries. So stakeholders also were more excited and awaiting for their product release to help their geographic users. So honestly, it was looking pretty much impressive on paper. But when I started involving into the program, in depth, I have noticed that this digital transformation project is somehow not sustainable in a longer run due to its complex design, and the cost involved in maintaining it is going to be huge. So this solution already got deployed in a couple of countries by then. So instead of going with the flow, I know it's pretty much risky, but I have made my mind, and even though it was seemed like a risky decision, I prepared a presentation and explained the risk involved in moving forward on that particular program. So as we already gone live for a few countries and getting prepared for getting deployed in multiple other countries in next couple of years, I was questioned multiple times on the approach by my counterparts and of course other technology leaders as well. So even my team wondered whether whether if I'm overcomplicating the things. So, but here's what happened. Within no time, Tanay, within no time, this argument has reached the CXO and the leadership. Uh, so this costed some dollar value by that time. My boss and the chief technology officer, CTO, they understood the consequences if we go live for the multiple countries. So, and they supported in halting the program for that moment and suggested to come up with a sustainable architecture. So though it was it was a tough decision, but initially my stakeholders were nervous and were not happy. But eventually, we all discussed and supported each other and considering the holistic view. As I said, right, it was a tough decision, but then it saved a lot of rework, risk of high maintenance cost, and of course saved multi-million dollars to the company. Later on, this project was restarted in conjunction with other program with a change in architecture within a short duration of time, and the team has delivered exceptionally innovative work and flexibility with significant less budget itself, and that's the beauty. And within a solution that was actually more robust than the original premium proposal. So so the stakeholders were also impressed. They extended the product with some more additional functionalities. That experience reinforced a principle which I still live by in especially in the high stake projects, right? The cautious decision is often the one isn't one which you make early with clarity, but your sustainable needs, not just your perceived wants, right? So sometimes the best product isn't the costly one, it's the right combination that matches the specific challenges, right? So that's the name.
Yeah. Everything expensive isn't always gold.
Yeah, it's always right.
Yeah. Very well said, sir. So in large IT projects, disputes are almost inevitable, right? Between vendors, stakeholders, and
Right.
different teams. Could you
Right.
share your approach to navigating these heated moments? Like, is there a time when you stepped into a tense negotiation and walked out with a win-win solution for everyone involved?
Yeah, Tanay. So when you see, when you scale up to the scale onto the ladder, right, in the career ladder, right? Obviously, the decisions and the disputes, resolution is worthwhile, right? That takes a lot. So, I mean, if you look at it in management, we come across something called as triple constraints. So, especially in a project, when we say the time, scope, and budget, when it is mapped to an equilateral triangle, right? So, if there is a deviation in any of these, like either time, scope, or budget, right? So, to make it equilateral again, the other two needs to get hampered. I mean, that has to get adjusted. So during this period, right, we obviously end up with disputes, and evidently has to look for resolution or a backup plan. Indeed, right. So there are many such disputes which we normally encounter, anyone for that matter, in most of the projects. But one dispute was not related to either time, scope, or management, but it is more on the trust and challenging situation which me and my team were in that during that particular time. So I worked for a US based company who has set up their their development center in India. So till then, it was the vendor partners who were managing their entire development and support engagements. So they were working closely with the country specific teams. So they have gained the confidence and trust from most of the geographic specific business leads. And obviously they were in the good books because they were supporting from the long duration. So due to this new development center in India, the reporting structure for most of the vendor partners got shifted from US to India, right? So now during the initial days, it was tough for most of our team members to understand the business process without the help of the vendor partners. So some vendor partners started to feel unsecured and then started looking uh, us as a new competitors for them. So in reality, but it's not completely true. Any company setting up their development center in India, right, and we call it as GCCs, has to rely on vendor partners also to various other reasons. But some look at it as a threat for their jobs. But since most of the work is getting delivered in India, company has set up a local office, plan to have local governance, and streamline the processes and deliver some, of course, global IT projects they wanted to deliver. That's the motto behind, obviously, as a bigger picture. As I was managing these global distribution systems in that particular company, I started looking into the ERP architecture of supply chain process, applications and reports for the countries which were already gone live. So during my analysis, I observed that some of the reports related to specific processes had hundreds of versions, which will eventually increase the maintenance cost, not only to the company, but to the countries where actually this particular report versions got deployed, because it's a more number of the versions, right? So keeping track of so many versions for same report is also not sustainable solution. It's definitely not a sustainable solution. So I took a stand on this and guided the in-house technical team to do a thorough due diligence. It was definitely a huge effort because it's a complex process and it's a complex program comparing hundreds of report versions that got implemented nearly in 20 countries across the globe. So I guided the team and they have done exceptionally work with which then we came up with one standard report that can be reused in multiple countries with less number of versions. So now considering the fact that there were new, basically the team which we were, right, we were new to the company and we do not understand the process. So we were suggesting a change which is going to impact many countries. So you understand, right? Now the vendors, not only the tension got into the thicker mode. Some of the vendor partners, along with the country specific leads, were not inclined for this change and escalated this situation to our senior VP. We had multiple discussions with the stakeholders, explaining them the possible impact and the benefit by implementing this solution, whichever we are trying to propose for a longer duration. We even tried to convince that the deployment is not going to be in a big bang approach. That is not for the entire 20 countries, but we will adopt phase-wise approach. But nevertheless, for continuous effort, none of the countries were ready to accept for this change, thinking that their process might get hampered if the report fails. And obviously, I mean, we don't deny it, right? So finally, we then tried to identify one country in Europe which has very less transactions, assured that we will be following every possible risk mitigation process, and also assured the country business lead that my team will provide 7 a.m. CET, which is the European time, Central European time, to 7 p.m. CET, and which we will give support for 2 weeks in monitoring their supply chain process associated with this particular report deployment. But finally, with the help of our solution architects and one particular business lead, we have successfully deployed that global standard report. And later on, that report was rolled out to other countries as well as per their local needs and local governance. So it was a breakthrough solution. And later, many other processes like in the finance and inventory. So many other processes followed this refinement process, And definitely it was a win-win situation for everyone, including the vendor partners, countries, and the company. So instead of implementing the solution in a traditional way, the vendor partners got chance to work on a global object, a sustainable solution with long-term benefit, and delivered to multiple countries. And the company also got confidence on our new team, right? This project taught me that sometimes the fastest way to resolve a dispute or gain confidence is stop defending our positions. So whether we are in a vendor partner side or a company perspective, but then start defending on the shared mission. What is the purpose which we are in? So why we have been onboarded? So that's the lesson also which I learned on this.
Speak up, but with a bigger purpose.
True, absolutely.
Okay, so now it's time for a light-hearted round, which we call our very own rapid fire. So, only request to you if we can have the answers short and crisp and quick. One sentence, one word, anything goes. So, let's go for it. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's shoot.
Perfect. What's the most adventurous thing you've done outside of work, of course?
Uh, yeah. So try to outside the workforce, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So outside the workforce, it's probably taking up my assignment and supporting my wife in setting up a company and trying
Lovely.
to help her. Even when I was, or I'm trying to take care of my job role. So that I would say the most adventurous thing. So that is one thing. But of course, in if you look at the professional as well, taking and working or managing cross-functional or cultural vendor partners team while learning corporate governance on the fly. So both personal and the professional, right? Yeah.
Yeah. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Ah, that's a good question. So I would, Tanay, that I would rather look at uh, let's say Ratan Tata, right? His vision, obviously, because his vision of combining business excellence with social impact resonates with my approach of technology leadership.
Yeah. What's a hobby or skill that most people don't know you're into?
So I'm actually passionate about bibliometric analysis, like studying research patterns and citation. Uh, it helps me spot emerging technology trends before they hit the mainstream. And obviously, some of the the recent trendings up, right? The agriculture and the horticulture aspect of it. So I try to explore more on them.
What's your guilty pleasure TV show or movie?
So I'm embarrassingly, addicted to certain shows about engineering disasters, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So that is one thing, and of course, as I was telling, I try to explore even the horticulture and the agriculture aspect, new trends, how it is evolving and shaping up the our India's sector and manufacturing processes, right? So there is definitely always this project management lesson hidden behind all of this.
Yeah. What's your go-to karaoke song? Any
I
such
think
song?
that's a very good song, right? A very good song, which is more like I feel, melody songs,
Yeah.
right? So not onto, I'm not more of a jazz or a beat
Okay.
thing,
No
something, but
problem.
it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
only I feel the melody ones. So yeah,
So any old song probably. Old
any
classic.
yeah. See, not that much fan. See the patriotic songs, right? Which I can think of in the border movie. I don't
Yeah.
recall it.
Sunday se aate hain.
Sunday, exactly. The Sunday.
Yeah.
So, so
Lovely,
that
lovely.
that's Sunday se aate hai, right? That's that I
Kya
get
baat hai.
goosebumps, right?
Yeah.
So,
And the whole picturization of the 10-minute song with
mm,
past and relationships and camaraderie, it has everything. It
everything.
has
Yeah.
It has brotherhood, it has breakup, it has love, it has
Love,
everything.
it's a motherly relation. So, I mean, what,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
Beautiful.
really, that's one song which I really love, the patriotic. Yeah.
Yeah. If you could instantly master any new skill, what would it be and why?
Um, so see, currently I am pursuing my doctorate also, right, in data science. So that is one thing which I would like to master. I mean, that will really help being able to tell, I mean, right, certain compelling stories with the data, which would rather make my presentation even more impactful. See, because obviously we keep saying, right, data speaks on its own, right? So I would rather get into the data science and then see, how data can be more impactful.
Yeah.
So that's the reason which I can think of, like, the data science is what which I would like to master instantly.
Lovely, sir. Great, sir. That was a really fun rapid fire round. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you,
Sir,
Tanak. Yeah.
in the IT world, we've all heard of tricky situations from fake or proxy hires who aren't the real experts they claim to be, to outsourcing bait and switch where promised senior talent quietly gets replaced with juniors, to outright vendor frauds involving inflated invoices or even hacked payment channels. These things can derail a project financially, technically, and reputationally. Have you ever seen a situation where you spotted such a risk early, or maybe walked into one unknowingly but found a way out?
Right. This is also a tricky question, Tanak, right? So okay, let me take one step back. So if you look at the current industry pattern, right, we are witnessing companies moving towards having um, in-house talent especially. So this is one of the reasons why companies are coming up with this with their GCCs, Global Capability Centers, and hiring the local talent in India itself. Apart from, I mean, so of course there will be certain other reasons also, like, cost optimizations and few others, right? So on the other hand, to support their business operations, the same GCC is also looking for best service providers also with less, obviously less dollar rate, right? So it is becoming tough for the service providers or the vendor partners to maintain the talent pool with higher salaries, and has to go with, at least 30% of the rookie ratio, right, with an average years of team experience varying between, 8 to 10 years, to maintain the percentage margins. So now I think we should not be judging the vendors without actually knowing the contractual terms and conditions. See, because to me, no company intentionally wanted to get into trouble and spoil their reputation, right? So I have seen, because being in this position, I have seen both the sides. I was part of the GCC and I was also part of service provider. So I will definitely ensure that the contractual terms are based on the milestone basis and outcome basis, rather than, pretty much, resource oriented. And it will be, I mean, then what happens, the service providers take it as a responsibility, and they will ensure that the quality of deliverables are met. So once that is in place, obviously, then I think, uh, everything will fall in line, right? And I would look at it more on an aspect that the young talent has to be encouraged. Seniors should not be doing the same job years together. They will have to train the fresh talent, upgrade themselves to the next level in their career. So in this way, what happens, the transparency and the trust will get established between the companies, right? Yeah, that's my take.
True, sir.
Tanay.
Very well said. Sir, you've been a part of Directors Institute, and given your vast experience, I'm just curious that what inspired you to join, and how has being a part of the institute influenced your approach to leadership and governance?
Yeah, Tanay. So my journey, right, to Directors Institute started with a moment of what I would say, uncomfortable self-awareness. So I was going through a couple of articles in the internet, watching senior leaders, making some strategic decisions about digital transformation. Um, that digital transformations impacting thousands of employees and millions in investment. So I realized something unsettling. So I was excellent in managing programs, but I was looking at governance through the narrow lens of program delivery itself. So now that was the we call it as right aha moment, right? That hit me when I published my first article in International Journal of Science and Research on digital modernization by upgrading industrial machinery, business process, and services. So in this, I was focused on technical solution, uh, which is totally focused on the technology advancements, improved quality, enhanced safety, increased performance, efficiency, and cost savings. But when I discuss this article with one of the board member in a different company, um, on the perspective of the digital modernization, his perspective was totally different. I got a totally different questions. He said, what will be the liability exposure? How does this will align my company's ESG commitments? What happens to the stakeholder trust if we have a breach? So these are certain questions which I did not even think through. Yeah. So then I realized I needed to evolve from thinking like a technology leader to a thinking like a director, seeing technology decisions through the lens of enterprise risk, regulatory compliance, and long-term stakeholder value. So joining definitely Directors Institute was transformative, no doubt about it. The independent director certification didn't just teach me governance frameworks; it shifted my entire perspective. Right. The shift was demonstrated during my next article submissions
Yeah.
on AI-driven leadership, which was focused on transforming corporate governance in the digital era. Then the cyber risk management, which was on critical responsibility for the boards in digital age, and of course in one more article of future proofing your business designing for resilience in the disruptive world. So these are the three papers which I tried to publish where the perspective was totally different. So definitely, institute taught me that leadership isn't just about making good decisions for today. It's about creating frameworks that ensure good decisions continue to be made long after you're gone. So see, there's this saying that which I believe is a process should not be a person driven. It should be a system driven, or right. So that's the difference between the management and the governance, which I at least know I learned. Yeah, Tanay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for those kind words and for sharing your insights with us today. Your journey, leadership, and dedication to continuous learning are truly inspiring. It's clear that your approach to program management and governance isn't just about delivering projects, it's about something bigger, creating large term impact with integrity, innovation, and a lot of care. So lovely to hear you today, sir.
No, no, definitely pleasure interacting with you, Tanay. Thank you very
Like
much.
Likewise, sir. And to all our listeners, if today's episode sparked some new ideas or gave you a fresh perspective on leadership and governance, make sure to share it with someone who could benefit. Let's keep this conversation going and continue learning from the best. This is FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute. Until next time, keep learning, keep leading, stay future ready, and of course, have fun in your journey. Thank you so much.